This is Rajni, Assistant Professor of English, and I welcome you all to online class of English literature. Today, we will briefly discuss a beautiful poem titled as The World is Too Much with Us by William Wordsworth. It is prescribed in the paper first of English literature for third year students. In this module, we'll have a brief introduction about the poet and the poem, about the literary age, and major thoughts and ideas expressed in the poem. So let us begin. First, we'll have a brief introduction to the poet. So the composer of this poem, William Wordsworth, was born in 1770 in Cockermouth in the Lake District of England, and he is considered as one of the leading figures of the Romantic movement. He was greatly impressed and influenced by the ideas of French Revolution. He started his career as a poet in 1793, but it was the publication of lyrical ballads in 1798 with his dear friend and poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge that gave him recognition as an author and also started a movement in English writing, a movement about which we will get to know more in the next slide. If we talk about the poetry of Wordsworth, it was a new kind of poetry based on themes chosen from the life of the simple and rural people around him, people who lived in close communion with nature. Because for Wordsworth, nature is supreme, more like equal to God, and he called himself a nature's devotee, its priest. He considered nature as a moral teacher without which human life is incomplete. Another thing about Wordsworth's poetry is emphasis upon the feelings and emotions, as he also described poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. And many of his poems are recollections of his past experiences, experiences which are personal. Before we take detailed analysis of the poem, it is important to know about literary age and background of the poem. So the poem is a product of Romantic age. And what is this Romantic age? So it is the age beginning with the outbreak of French Revolution in 1789 and ending with Queen Victoria's succession to the throne in 1837 or even before that. And the major poets associated with this movement can be grouped into three categories. First group is pre-romantics. So who were pre-romantics? They were the group of the poets that belongs to the period of transition, that is the period of change, transition or change from neoclassical to the romantic. We notice a shift in the way of writing. Poems became personal in their subject matter. Poets in their poems started to talk about personal emotions and about death and mortality. Thomas Gray, William Blake, William Cooper, Robert Burns, and James Thomson were the chief poets of this period. Though they were not innovative or imaginative enough in their writing, but contributed much in the development of this moment, Romanticism. Then came another group of writers known as lake poets, that is Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and Robert Southey. Now, you might wonder why they were called lake poets, because they all lived in the rural Lake District of England, and that's why they are called so. They had many poetic beliefs and ideas in common that helped in the launch of Romanticism. And the last group of poets known as younger or later romantics includes George Gordon Byron, P.B. Shelley, and John Keats. And it was the period of later romantics when romanticism reached its height. And some great prose writers of this age were Charles Lamb, William Hazlitt, Thomas De Quincey, and Walter Scott. Now, let us discuss some features of Romanticism. What were the specified characteristics of this period? First, there was a complete shift in the writing process, as this age was a reaction against the neoclassical age, the age that is also known as Augustan age or the age of enlightenment. Writers of previous age valued logic, reason, and rationality, but writers of the Romantic era valued emotion, passion, and individuality. Poets of this age gave importance to imagination over imitation. They believed in creativity. And romantics used imagination so that the common things could be made to look strange and beautiful with the play of imagination. Romantics also laid stress upon the spontaneous self expression with no artificiality, an expression that is genuine and simple. Other important characteristics that is important to the writers of this age is closeness to nature and natural things. The movement also opposed the fast-paced industrialization, which was the result of industrial revolution. And romantics preferred natural man over civilized man. Poetry of this period is subjective, meaning that inspiration for writing poetry were their own personal experiences, their love relationships, their filial relationships. And poets like Coleridge wrote in his poems about supernatural, mystic, or exotic things, or about exotic things. And there was a closer relationship between the individual and God. And poetry of Wordsworth shows all of these characteristics of Romantic age, and he stands supreme among the Romantic poets. Now, as we have discussed the age, we can have a better understanding of the poem that we are going to discuss, that is, The World is Too Much with Us. So, the poem was written by William Wordsworth in 1802 and got published in his collection Poems in 2 volumes in 1807. The poem is a sonnet, and you might know what is a sonnet, a poem of 14 lines. And this poem is written in Petrarchan structure, named after the great Italian poet Petrarch, because Petrarch invented this Petrarchan structure. And the poem is divided into 2 parts, that is in an octave, that is the first 8 lines of the poem, and a sestate, last 6 lines of the poem. In the octave part, for Wordsworth proposes the theme, the idea, and the problem. And in the concluding sestate part, he develops the idea and gives solution to the problem mentioned in the octave part. And the rhyme scheme of the poem is A B B B A B B B A C D C D C D. The chief concern of the poem is growing materialism in the society, over which Wordsworth expresses his discontent, his anger, and his dissatisfaction. Because Wordsworth had been a person who really worshipped nature, but people of his society no longer feel attached to it and are distancing themselves from nature to gain materialistic benefits. This was the world of industrial revolution, which was busy in making money in smoky factories and business enterprises. And Wordsworth in the poem criticizes this attitude of people. How getting and spending have become the chief concern of the society. People are blinded by the glitter of materialism. And the tone of the poem is full of anger and sadness. Wordsworth describes in the poem how people are forgetful of the beautiful sights of nature, and in a way they have sold their souls to progress financially. In the last part of the poem, there is a shift in the tone of the poem where Wordsworth wishes to be a pagan. Now, what is a pagan? Pagan is someone who worships nature, and Wordsworth wishes to be a pagan, a nature worshipper of ancient religions, so he can reconnect with the natural world. Wordsworth's philosophy of life, that is, humanity must get in touch with nature in order to progress spiritually, is quite evident in the poem. And the sonnet has a universal theme, and at the same time, it is relevant to the situation of modern society because things have not changed much since then. On the contrary, the situation has worsened. So we can say poem has a valuable lesson for all of us today. This is a simple poem but with a much deeper meaning. So in this session we have discussed briefly about the age of the poem and main ideas expressed in the poem. In the next video lecture we'll do a line by line analysis and detailed explanation of the text of the poem. So till then, thank you.